Hey everybody, Jason Qualia here. Happy New Year. It's great to see everybody. This is a segment that I'm going to pick up on from last year. It's called People You Should Know. So first of all, I'd like to introduce Doug Stoddard. And Doug is a habit breaker neuroscience expert. How's it going today, Doug?
Really good. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, Doug. And thanks for reaching out on LinkedIn. It was really exciting to meet you and get to hear a little bit about what you do. So why don't you tell us what is it that you do?
Well, I am a habit breaker neuroscience expert. And so I help people who are frustrated with them doing the same things over and over again, like binge eating or being impatient or not having hard conversations or needing to be right, those kinds of things. So I help them understand from a neuroscience point of view how to shift that. First of all, how to become aware of it, and then how to shift it.
Excellent. Now, Doug, what do you say to people who are, they're like, I got it. I read self-help books. I go to seminars. What do you have to say to them?
Well, it's fascinating because nothing changes on a sustained basis, Jason, until you can actually force the subconscious brain that has neural pathways to actually cut off the old pattern of thinking that drives your behavior and to create a new pattern of thinking. That's when it happens. And that's why we keep having the same issues over and over again, because we're not cutting off the messaging system that keeps hitting us.
Yeah, so I mean, you bring up a good point. So New Year's, everyone's setting their new resolutions. I'm going to go to the gym every day. I'm going to eat right. Why is it that those tend not to stick?
Well, it's like I said, it's 90% of our behavior, Jason, is driven by habits of thinking that are driven by the subconscious. And neuroscientists say we can't wrap our heads around 90% of those things that are going on. And so what happens is it's delivering the message. We keep reacting to it. It keeps controlling us. I call them mental tsunamis that keep hitting us, that drive us into this emotions, this reaction, this identity in our behavior. And that's why at the end of the day, we may have started out, bam, today I'm going to be patient. Today I'm not going to procrastinate. All those things. And at 7 o'clock in the evening, we're hanging upside down in a coconut tree with a bag of chips, Ben and Jerry, Chunky Monkey ice cream, beating ourselves up saying, why in the world did I do it again? And so, but it's because the subconscious is driving your behavior.
So, I mean, how do you help people create new habits of thinking, Doug?
Well, first of all, you have to become aware of when they're getting triggered and what they're telling you. Then you have to create a framework that allows you to step aside from that tsunami that's going on and capture the power in it and then that forces the brain to create new messaging to you. It's a process. It's not done overnight. There is no such thing as 30 days and you can create a habit. There is no science behind that. It's all on the consistency and frequency in which you practice these frameworks.
So, Doug, what group do you find yourself like most successful in helping? Because I know, with your skill set, it's probably not for everybody.
No, I've been doing this over 11 years now. And so the ones, first of all, they've got to be hungry to change. They want to change. The second one is with people who are own businesses, entrepreneurs, executives, those types of people. People are willing to invest in themselves and are very interested in self-development.
So, Doug, I took your assessment, and nobody knows what that assessment is. You can fill them in after, but it was very interesting, and I don't know if intuitive is the right word, but as I completed your assessment, which was very simple and very quick, I'm looking at the thing and I go, how the heck is this going to be able to help me or tell anything about me? It seems so not benign, but it seems so basic. But then once you and I set up the follow-up call, and I saw all the results, I'm like, holy cow, this has me nailed to a T. So can you tell us a little bit about the assessment that you have?
Yeah, I took it over 12 years ago, and it's based off of, it's laser accurate enforcing the subconscious to reveal the 90% of the habits of thinking that drive our behaviors, and the languages it uses, and the frequency in which it's doing, and how that will impact your life. And it's based off of high levels of axiological mathematics that was nominated for the Nobel Prize. And we spent over $3 million developing this.
Wow.
And so what I do is based on science. It's not based on ideas or people's opinions. It's science. So it's laser accurate. It's fascinating what it can tell you in 10 minutes of just moving words and statements around.
Yeah. And Doug, I will say that the changes that I have had in my own routine in my life since we had that hour call and since taking the assessment are phenomenal. It's just, health, wellness, career, focus. The main thing we touched on was the impatience. That was something that you left me with that has, I've really been more cognizant of it and have been more thoughtful in my steps and identifying when I'm being impatient, and kind of reeling it back in. So, I really appreciate it, Doug. For anybody who feels that Doug would be a good fit for him, his link is connected above. Go ahead, reach out to him, take the assessment, and set up your 1 hour call. Now, just to keep everything short, because people tend not to watch these things very long. Now that we've got the core meat out of the way of what it is you do and how you can be helpful, Doug, tell us a little bit about how you got into this.
Yeah, for years I was in sales, very successful, had that identity about myself. I can achieve anything. Because I had health issues, I got created a nutrition business, did very well. But after about 6 years of that, the owner of the company we were working with was caught embezzling. And lawsuits against him took him down. We lost our employees. We went into bankruptcy. And at the same time, we had 2 of our own 6 children who didn't want anything to do with this for over 9 years. And I didn't know why. So here I went from the guy who was training on stages, who had the title, who had a lot of money coming in, all this kind of stuff. And now I was driving my mother-in-law's old Buick car. And here I was trying to still have that look like the Facebook 10. I got it all together. I still have all this success. But inside, the noise about me and the comparison and judgment and perfectionism and impatience, all that stuff was the noise that was going through. So I felt like a 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I battled with that for over 9 years till I was introduced into what I do with neuroscience and this assessment. And then I could hear that it was a subconscious driving all that dialogue in my head. And it totally shifted how I saw myself over time. But because that's why I got into this. And in this process, I've healed the relationship with these 2 kids. It's beautiful. I have a thriving business. But most important, I'm really happy to be Doug. I'm okay with just being Doug.
Beautiful. We haven't known each other for a long time, but you're up there in my book of people, Doug. I'll tell you that much.
Thank you. But that's why I'm so invested in helping people. I'm really invested in empowering leaders of families and business to find freedom, mental freedom, emotional freedom, communication freedom, and many other areas of freedom that right now they're captivated by their subconscious. And so for me, I have freedom, and that's what I want to give to other people.
Excellent. So Doug, if you don't mind, I'd like to have you on again next month. Maybe we could, drill down into a specific area or, do something, kind of give out, some freebies out there, for people of ways they can implement your techniques into their life, just like you did with me. That, I'm really seeing real change, and it's just that's why I wanted to share what you do with everyone, because it was so helpful for me. So, would you be willing to come back on next month?
Well, absolutely. You're a great guy.
I didn't pay you to say that,
No, you didn't, but you can. No, I just joking.
That's funny. So, Yeah, but everybody, please feel free to reach out to Doug. His contact should be in the comments above. If it's not in the comments, I'll have Doug, put his information below. But once again, go ahead, take the assessment, set up your 1 hour meeting with Doug. It was very helpful to me, and I'm sure it'll help you guys as well. Doug, any closing thoughts or statements?
Yes. When you reach out to me, just make sure that you're hungry to change. You want to go to the next level. And I don't charge for the assessment or the time afterwards, 40, 45 minutes, whatever, afterward. I don't charge for that because what I do is very experiential.
Mm-hmm.
And we can go to a level that very few people ever have an opportunity to go to just with this information. And we create a very safe place where people feel heard, seen, valued, and understood. So
excellent. All right, excellent. Thanks a lot, Doug.
thank you. We'll see you.